Hello, kids. Hello, everybody. Welcome in to another vintage ADMB. This past episode, we talked about Dennis E. Taylor's We Are Legion, We Are Bob. And one of the main themes in that book, and something that we talked about quite a bit in this episode, was the idea of eternal life. Do you really want eternal life? If you had the ability to have eternal life, would it be what you thought it would be? We also talked about how with that, is there like an aspect of power that comes along with that eternal life, and or maybe we think that we have some type of righteousness involved with that. And that got me to thinking about the interview I had with Randy Cribbs when I visited my favorite place, as you all know, St. Augustine, Florida. We met Randy on the campus of Flagler College, and we talked to Randy about his book, The Vessel to Naha. And in this book, in his novel, there's a vessel that these characters can drink from, and it gives them eternal life, but it corrupts them. And so Randy and I talk about what the cost of eternal life is, what the cost of this type of power that is granted to you, or could be the temptation of that. We all go through it. We talk about that. And then Randy gets to talking about his writing process, which is a really fun thing to listen to. He talks about how he goes about and has an idea, but also how so many of his books have been set in St. Augustine, and how the history of the city and just history in general is what kind of leads him on as he continues to write. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. It was such a great interview with Randy. I had such a good time with him back in June. And if you want to go back and listen to it, it's episode 88. I really encourage you to do that. It's such a good interview. Randy was just a really cool guy. But again, he really just talks about everything, the city changing, the writing process, and his time in Vietnam, and all kinds of stuff. Really cool guy. I encourage you to go listen to it. It was episode 88. So without keep you waiting, here is Randy Cribbs and I on the campus of Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida, talking about eternal life, talking about the temptation of power, and talking about writing stories in St. Augustine, Florida. Big question for you. This just popped in my head. If you found the vessel, would you drink from it?
Oh, at this point, probably not.
Okay.
I think I'd be afraid to.
Yeah.
Haven't ever been afraid of many things in my life out of necessity, but no, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
There was, that kept coming up a lot in the story, which I think was really an interesting thing to think about. Is I think a lot of people think about like longevity, immortality. I think you're seeing now more and more these tech billionaires who have the money to they're trying to extend their lives as far as they can.
Cryogenics and everything. Yeah,
crazy things.
It is.
But then, you kind of talked about how, okay, you have the opportunity with the vessel to have immortality, but at the same time, you're outliving everyone you know, and you're seeing all your family and friends die, and what is there to do for you? And
yes.
you can't be the weird guy in town.
And you saw some of that in Stewart.
Right, yeah.
Fuller,
yeah.
Stewart, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting thing to think about, is how, we hope for things, but sometimes those things that we hope for may not always turn out, how we would want them.
So you just confessed that there's probably something to that old saying, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed the thinking behind that, because, who amongst us hasn't ever thought, I wish I had more time. I told you have kids and I have kids, and who of us has thought, like, I wish we could have more time to see them grow up, or to stay here and enjoy life and things like that. But I don't know, you just really need to make the most of what you're given. Yeah, you
really do.
Yeah.
That was actually the theme of my famous speech at both my sons' weddings, that don't get preoccupied with the end result of where you want to go.
Right.
Get preoccupied with the journey, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Simple. It's said so many times in so many ways. It's really that simple. You just have to buy into it.
Yeah. Well, and our protagonist has kind of that thought process too of, you know, I could drink from this vessel, but what am I guess, sacrificing if I do drink from this vessel? And so
You're going to love the sequel because
Okay.
Claire fights through that.
okay,
The daughter,
yeah, right, yeah,
the big decisions to make.
yeah. You need to read. I know you said you've watched the films, Lord of the Rings, but you need to read the novels as well. They're fantastic, but also this temptation and desire for this power is always there, and it seems like the vessel, the
I like them.
Yeah.
My favorite character, I named a cat after him, Smeagol's.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And actually, Smeagol's is just like him.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot be trusted. You go to pet her and she'll grab your butt. So,
Well, and you know, the professors you talked about kind of have a similar issue as Smeagol or Gollum has in the films, where the ring kind of corrupts their minds and their bodies. This longevity has driven them mad, and you've got these two friends who are sharing the vessel, and it just has corrupted them to becoming people that probably they weren't before, you know. And like we said, this is kind of looking into okay, maybe you have the opportunity for power, or maybe you have the opportunity for longevity, but is it really what you think it is?
but you've always got to remember, even though Lord of the Rings is very old, writers like Tolkien and so on and so forth, but in every story or movie made along those lines, that's what it's always about. There is something unique, impossible to believe, and you've got to have it.
Yeah.
You want that power. Whatever it does, you want it. Think about it. Raiders of the Lost Ark, I don't care what it is.
Right, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, which is wonderful because that's where you turn the key and release your imagination and just let it go wherever you like.
Yeah.
That's what my son is fantastic at that. Probably because he's a big Lord of the Rings and such fan, always has been. He's written since he was a wee lad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's kind of a part of the human experience, right? Like, I think we would be wrong in saying that none of us have thought about these things, like maybe the temptation for power, or like we said, longevity, or wealth. Maybe even if that's through corrupt means, you know. I'd say we've all thought about this.
If anybody tells you they haven't thought about it, they're lying.
Right. Yeah. Which is what makes this a great book to read, is because, like I said, that's what makes literature worth reading, is we take this mirror and we have to examine ourselves with it, and your story does that. We have to look and say, okay, well, what would I do if I had come across Tanaha? Would I drink from that or not? You know? Yeah.
And where it differs in the sequel, I don't know why I keep getting to that, probably because it's currently there.
Sure. Yeah.
Where it's a little different is you don't understand what the power is doing, so you don't think about it. Okay, it's in Tanaha, the question asked was, what would you give for immortality? If you could drink out of something, would you do it for immortality? The Relic, which is the name of the sequel, is a bigger question. What would you do to have the memories of everybody that came before you?
That infinite knowledge, almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. That is awesome. You talked about writing it as a mystery, and you read mysteries, and I love reading mysteries. My alter ego is actually named Perry Haston. My last name's Haston, so not Perry Mason, but Perry Haston. But how did you go about writing the mystery? Because I mentioned Dr. Smith before, and he's written a mystery novel, and he talked about how you this is the solution I want, and we're going to go backwards from that. And I didn't know kind of your process in creating a mystery with this.
No, you know, I can safely say, particularly in all of my novels, most of the short stories, and I have whatever it is, 3 books of short stories, I guess. That's kind of in my mind, because a lot of times I don't know where it's going, but it never drives everything before that. What drives everything before that is whatever direction it takes me. And with the St. Augustine books, in many cases, It sometimes takes me in a little different direction because of the history. I will be including some snippet of history, and in reading some things and researching, something else pops up, and I said, okay, I need to go there. So I get sidetracked.
Yeah.
So, but the end, no, I don't say this is where I want to go. That is a good method if you're going to write a story. Okay, here's where I'd like to be generally. You can't be specific. And then you kind of work toward that way, as long as you don't force yourself. You feel like you need to go in this direction because it's heading toward that goal, but maybe not. We'll do the maybe not. Don't let it drive you to the goal. That's the biggie.
So, I mean, we kind of keep coming back to this, but do you think that a book could be set in St. Augustine? I mean, the historical aspect's always going to be there, but without diving so deeply into that historical aspect.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And movies galore. Just spin off of the history and then put your blinders on and just do the story. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, those kind of things. It's like a lot of sea stories. Okay, take even a real event. Okay, well, that's the real event, and that's kind of it. But what if? And then spin off it. Everything else becomes fiction, but it's exciting. And yeah, you could. Well, there's so many things that could be written, set in a town like this. There really is.
Yeah.
You take your choice. Well, I'm lucky, and authors here are lucky because 9 of my now 13 soon-to-be books are set here, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. Why would you set it anywhere else? I mean, what the hell? You know, there's just too much to draw from, literally.
Yeah.
From the very beginnings to even modern times. That's kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. It's a great place, and you've been a great person to talk to, and I've enjoyed it. And thanks for taking the time to do this.
Hey, well, I appreciate the invite, and I will say you did a fantastic job.
Oh, wow.
I was
Thank you.
suspect, just washed out of the blue. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I'm
going to cut that part, and I'm going to make sure to send that to my wife for her to hear that you said I did a great job.
There you go. I think you should. Yeah.
Hey, if you're a fan of good conversations and fresh takes on literature and the kind of school stories that stick with you long after the bell rings, well, I've got a podcast for you. It's called With Honors, and it's where my high school students have taken the microphone, not just to analyze books or talk about our lessons, but to reflect on what we've learned this year, have conversations about what surprised them, how our literature and classroom experiences connect to their real lives. And we talk about everything from symbolism and Poe to the pros and cons of class pets, and all through the voices of smart, curious students who have learned to speak their minds. New episodes drop regularly every week, and every one is a snapshot of what it looks like when students take ownership of their own learning and have a little fun while they're at it. You can find With Honors on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel, so check them out.